All right, so you're getting ready for an interview for an electrical household appliances distribution manager position.
That's great.
And we've got a ton of resources here from RoleCatcher to help you really knock this interview out of the park.
It's a really interesting field.
Yeah.
It's not just about moving boxes.
Right.
It's understanding how all of these appliances that we use every day get from the factory to the consumer.
Okay, let's break that down a little bit more.
Sure.
What does an electrical household appliances distribution manager actually do?
Well, essentially, you'd be the person in charge of getting those fridges, washing machines, dishwashers, all those appliances from the manufacturer to the stores where people can buy them.
Got it.
It's a really interesting blend of strategy, logistics, and even kind of trying to predict what people are going to want next.
So it's a lot more than just making sure the trucks show up on time.
Absolutely. It's about forecasting those trends,
Right.
making sure that there's enough inventory, but not too much inventory.
Right.
And building those relationships with everyone involved. The suppliers, the manufacturers, the retailers, and the people who actually move the products.
Yeah.
So it's a quite a juggling act.
That sounds pretty challenging.
But that's what makes it exciting.
That's where it gets exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about room for growth? Can you climb the career ladder from this position?
Oh, definitely. This role is often a stepping stone to even bigger things like a logistics manager
Okay.
or even a supply chain director.
Wow.
And the skills that you learn and hone as an appliance distribution manager are so valuable across so many industries.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So let's get into the actual interview itself now.
Okay.
We have some common questions here that RoleCatcher has provided us with.
Great.
And I know that RoleCatcher has some really interesting AI tools to help tailor your answers.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it would be good to kind of tackle these questions head on now.
Sure.
And the first one is a classic. Can you tell us about your experience in managing a team?
This is your chance to really showcase your leadership skills and experience.
Okay.
Don't just say, I'm a great leader.
Right.
You really want to give concrete examples.
Specific examples.
Yeah, of how you've led, motivated, and navigated, tricky situations with your team.
So like really digging into a time that you had to rally your team, maybe to meet a really tough deadline.
Exactly.
Or overcome a challenge.
Yeah, think back to a time that you had to maybe mediate a conflict between team members, or when you had to delegate tasks strategically to achieve a goal.
Right.
And, those stories really bring your leadership style to life.
Yeah, those are good talking points, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget to also talk about what you learned from those experiences.
Yes, growth is so key.
Yeah, always be growing.
All right.
All right, next question. How do you stay up to date with industry trends and changes?
This is where you get to prove that you're a lifelong learner. This world of distribution is constantly changing, especially with new technology, like drones and self-driving trucks coming into the picture.
Wow, so you're telling me we're going to have drones delivering our refrigerators now?
It's happening. It's happening.
That sounds like something out of a movie.
Might be sooner than you think.
Wow.
But the point is that you really need to show that you're actively seeking knowledge.
Okay.
So mention, trade publications, webinars, professional associations, anything that shows that you're staying ahead of the curve.
So it's not enough to just know how it works now.
Okay.
You need to anticipate how it's going to work in the future.
Exactly. And, a good talking point might be if you recently took like a course on supply chain optimization or attended a conference, about the future of logistics.
Yeah, those are good things to bring up.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit a question now that probably makes everyone a little nervous. How do you prioritize tasks and manage your time effectively?
Time management, the eternal struggle. But it's so important in a fast-paced role like this.
Right.
You know what they're really asking is, are you organized? Can you handle multiple things without dropping the ball?
So how do we show them that we're not going to drown in a sea of spreadsheets and delivery schedules?
Share your system.
Okay.
Do you love your to-do list? Or are you all about a color-coded calendar?
Right.
Do you love project management apps? Be really specific about how you approach it, because it shows that you've thought about it and you have a plan.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they dig deeper, we can talk about strategies like breaking down those large projects into more manageable chunks.
Yeah.
Or delegating effectively.
Right. Delegating is a key skill for any manager.
Absolutely. And, showing that you know how to delegate well is a big plus.
Yeah. And it shows that you trust your team.
Exactly. And that's so essential for building a strong team and a productive work environment.
Okay. I'm taking notes on all this.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a question that's maybe a little bit unexpected. Can you describe your experience in developing and implementing sales strategies?
Yeah, at first glance, it might not seem related.
Right.
But remember, a distribution manager isn't just about logistics. It's about getting the right product to the right place at the right time.
Okay.
And that directly impacts sales.
So we need to show them that we're thinking about the bigger picture here, not just moving boxes around.
Exactly. Have you ever analyzed sales data to identify trends, or maybe you conducted market research to understand what customers want?
Yeah.
These are all really relevant experiences that you should highlight.
Okay.
It's about showing that you're strategic and not just task-oriented.
I like that. Yeah.
You might even mention using tools like a SWOT analysis, which helps you identify, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats,
Right.
to make those informed decisions.
Yeah, that shows that you're really thinking about it. Okay, well, let's tackle a question that's always a little bit tricky. Can you give an example of how you have managed a difficult customer or client?
Everyone has had to deal with a difficult customer at some point.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The interviewer knows that what they want to see is how you handle that conflict and maintain your professionalism under pressure.
So it's not about pretending you've never had a customer complaint. It's about showing how you can handle that gracefully and come to a good resolution.
Exactly. Think of a specific example where you had to deal with a really challenging customer,
Right.
Maybe there was a delayed delivery,
Right.
maybe a product was damaged, or even just a misunderstanding.
Right.
And how did you approach the situation? What steps did you take to resolve it?
So what would you say is the best way to approach that? I think a lot of people get defensive when they have to deal with a customer complaint.
Yeah, the key is to stay calm.
Okay.
Listen actively to what they're saying and try to understand their perspective.
Right.
Even if you don't agree with them, just acknowledging their frustration and offering a sincere apology can go a long way.
That makes sense.
And then focus on finding a solution that works for both sides.
Okay, so turning that negative into a positive if you can.
Right. Maybe you offered a replacement product or expedited the shipping or provided a discount on a future purchase.
Right.
The important thing is to show that you took ownership of the situation and you worked towards a resolution.
Those are good talking points.
Hmm.
Okay, we have 2 more questions to go over in this section.
Okay.
Here's the next one. How do you ensure that your team meets sales targets and KPIs?
This builds on those previous questions about sales strategy and leadership.
Right.
The interviewer really wants to know if you understand how to set goals, motivate your team to achieve them, and track your progress along the way.
So we want to show that we're data-driven and results-oriented.
Yes, talk about your experience with setting realistic targets, breaking them down into those smaller milestones, and then monitoring your progress using those key metrics. This could be anything from sales reports to customer satisfaction surveys.
Got it.
And mentioning those specific KPIs that you've worked with shows a deeper understanding.
Okay, so what happens if things don't go to plan? Like, what if the team is falling short of those targets?
That's when your problem-solving skills come in.
Okay.
Don't panic.
Right.
Analyze the situation. Are there any roadblocks? Does the team need additional training
Okay.
or resources? Maybe the sales strategy needs to be adjusted. Show them that you can adapt and make those changes when necessary.
So it's not just about hitting the numbers. It's about understanding the why behind them and making adjustments if you need to.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating that you're proactive, you can adapt,
Yeah.
and you're focused on continuous improvement.
I like that.
Now, for our last question in this section, and it's one that really gets to the heart of the role, can you tell us about your experience in managing inventory and logistics?
This is where you really get to showcase your expertise in the actual nuts and bolts of the job.
Exactly. The interviewer wants to know that you understand how to forecast demand, manage those stock levels, coordinate with all the suppliers,
Right.
and, make sure those appliances are delivered on time and in perfect condition.
So we don't want those fridges ending up, gathering dust in a warehouse somewhere.
That's part of it for sure.
Yeah.
But it's also about optimizing the entire process to minimize those costs and maximize that efficiency.
Right.
So talk about your experience with all those different inventory management techniques.
Okay.
From just-in-time inventory systems to using sophisticated software that helps you track and manage all those stock levels.
So that side of it can get pretty complicated.
It can be, yeah.
So what about the logistics side of things? Like coordinating with trucking companies,
Yes.
optimizing delivery routes, dealing with unexpected delays.
It can be complex, but that's what makes it challenging and rewarding.
Yeah.
So share examples of how you've tackled these challenges in the past.
Okay.
Maybe you negotiated favorable rates with those shipping companies. Right. Or implemented a system for tracking deliveries in real time. Or maybe you found creative solutions to overcome those unexpected disruptions.
So you're not just a planner, you're also a problem solver,
Exactly.
ready to tackle whatever comes your way.
That's what they want to hear. It's about showing that you have a deep understanding of that entire supply chain.
Right.
And you can keep things moving smoothly even when you're faced with those unexpected obstacles.
I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've tackled some really tough interview questions, and we've gotten a good understanding of what those hiring managers are looking for in an electrical household appliances distribution manager.
Yeah, and we haven't even touched on how RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answers and practice your delivery.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. We haven't gotten into that.
Which can be a total game changer when you're prepping for an interview.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So we're going to save that for the next part.
sounds good.
We'll be right back to dive into how RoleCatcher can give you that extra edge in your interview prep. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. We're diving deeper into how to land that electrical household appliances distribution manager job.
Yeah.
Last time we went over some of those common interview questions,
Right.
and now we're going to see how RoleCatcher's AI can actually help us refine our answers and stand out to employers.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It sounds almost too good to be true. Can AI really make that much difference in how we prepare for interviews?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. So imagine this. You spend all this time working on your resume,
Yeah.
and then you come across this job description, and they use all this different terminology,
Right.
even though it's essentially the same role.
I've definitely been there.
Yeah, and then you start to question if you even have the right experience.
Totally.
That's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in.
Okay.
It's kind of like a translator.
Okay.
It compares your resume to the job description,
Okay.
and it highlights the areas where you're really strong
Uh-huh.
and maybe areas where you need to elaborate on things or rephrase things.
So it's like having a career coach
Yeah,
that knows exactly what they're looking for in this specific field.
exactly. It goes beyond just the generic advice.
Right.
It really gives you this tailored feedback.
Right.
So for example, let's say the job description emphasizes experience with inventory forecasting software,
Right.
but you only mentioned it briefly on your resume.
Okay.
RoleCatcher will flag that for you, and it'll suggest ways that you can showcase that experience more prominently.
That's really useful.
Yeah.
But what about the actual interview itself?
Yeah.
That's when the nerves really set in.
Oh, yeah.
Can AI help us with that part?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher has this really cool feature
Okay.
that simulates an actual interview.
Okay.
So you can practice answering these common questions,
Mhm.
and the AI will analyze your content and even your body language.
Body language too.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So all you have to do is you just record yourself answering practice questions.
Right.
You can use your phone or your computer's camera,
Okay.
and the AI uses all these algorithms
Wow.
to assess your facial expressions, your tone of voice, all those nonverbal cues.
So it's like a virtual mirror that shows us not just what we're saying, but how we're saying it.
Exactly. It can even pick up on nervous habits that you might not be aware of,
Oh, really?
like fidgeting
Okay.
or avoiding eye contact.
Right.
And it'll suggest ways that you can project more confidence and look more professional.
I loved it. I wish I had this when I was first starting out.
It's so
It
helpful.
would have saved me a lot of stress.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so going back to the electrical household appliance distribution manager position,
Yeah.
we talked about career advancement.
Right.
How does RoleCatcher support long-term career planning?
Well, their career guides aren't just about helping you land the job.
Okay,
It's about building a successful career trajectory.
got it.
So for this role, they outline all those potential paths you could take, like becoming a logistics manager or supply chain director,
Right.
and they highlight the skills that you need at each stage.
So it's like a roadmap
Yeah,
for your career.
exactly. It shows you all the different routes you can take,
I like that.
and it really prepares you for that journey.
Okay.
Yeah, and it encourages you to really be proactive about your career, which is so important. Things change so rapidly.
Right.
Knowing what skills to develop, what certifications to get, that can give you a real advantage.
Okay, so now I know that RoleCatcher has all these resources,
Yeah.
but is it all specific to household appliances?
Oh, no.
What if somebody's interested in a different area of distribution or even a completely different industry?
That's the beauty of RoleCatcher. It covers a huge range of industries and job roles, from entry level all the way up to senior management.
Wow.
So whether you're just starting out or you're looking for a change, there's something for everyone.
So it's a really comprehensive platform for anybody who is serious about their career,
Exactly.
regardless of their experience or what they're interested in.
And the best part is a lot of their resources are free.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, you can sign up for a free account and you can check out those career guides, sample interview questions,
Yeah. Right.
and even get some of that basic AI feedback.
Wow, that's amazing. Like a secret weapon for your job search.
It really is.
But, beyond all the technology and the resources, there's something else that I think is really important when it comes to interviewing.
What's that?
That genuine spark, that passion
Oh, yeah.
that sets you apart from other candidates.
Right.
I don't think AI can replace that.
No, I can't. You're right. All the preparation in the world won't matter if you can't convey a genuine interest
Yeah.
and enthusiasm for that role. That's what really resonates with hiring managers.
Speaking of that human element,
Yeah.
I'm curious about your personal experience with interviewing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a particularly memorable interview? Good or bad?
I have a story that illustrates this perfectly.
Okay.
It was early in my career. I was interviewing for a research position
Okay.
at this prestigious think tank. And I was so focused on proving how much I knew. Right.
That I completely forgot to be myself.
Oh, no. I can already see where this is going.
Yeah. It was a disaster. I came across as so stiff and robotic.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And even though I answered all their technical questions perfectly, I didn't get the job.
But it sounds like you learned a really valuable lesson.
I did. I realized that showing your personality and being genuine is just as important
Yeah.
as having those qualifications. People want to work with someone they connect with.
That's true. Someone that they feel comfortable with.
Exactly.
So it's finding that sweet spot between professionalism and personality.
Yeah, you don't want to be too casual,
Right.
but you also don't want to sound like a textbook.
Exactly.
Let your passion for the field shine through.
Yeah.
Share your unique experiences, and don't be afraid to show a little bit of your personality.
Right. It makes you memorable.
It does.
And it helps you build rapport with that interviewer.
Exactly.
That's great advice for anyone prepping for an interview.
Yeah.
Be yourself, but be your best self. Right.
And of course, being prepared helps immensely.
It does.
And that's where RoleCatcher comes in.
Exactly. It's like having a whole team of experts in your corner,
Yeah.
helping you every step of the way.
Okay, so I think we've explored the role of the electrical household appliances distribution manager.
We have.
We've talked about some common interview questions.
Right.
And we dove into how RoleCatcher's AI can really boost your chances of landing that job.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts as our listeners prepare for their interviews?
You've got all this knowledge. You've practiced your answers. You're ready to showcase your skills.
Yeah.
Now it's time to tap into that passion for this field.
Okay.
What is it about this role that really excites you?
Yeah.
What kind of impact do you want to make?
Right.
Channel that energy
Okay.
and let it shine through in that interview.
I love that it's about bringing your authentic self to the table,
Yeah.
combined with all that confidence from all that preparation.
Yeah, that's the winning formula.
Right.
Believe in yourself and you'll do great.
We're rooting for you.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah.
Remember, knowledge is power,
Yes.
and you're now equipped to ace that interview.
Good luck.
All right, welcome back to the show.
It's been great.
We've been exploring what it takes to be an electrical household appliances distribution manager. We talked about those tough interview questions
Uh-huh.
and how AI can help us prepare.
Yeah, it's amazing how much technology can help us with this stuff now.
Right, so we've prepped, we've practiced, we've even analyzed our body language.
Oh, thanks to RoleCatcher.
Right.
It's great.
So now what's the secret to actually nailing that interview?
All that preparation is great,
Okay.
but it's really just the foundation.
Okay.
What really makes you stand out is your genuine enthusiasm for the role.
So it's not just about knowing the answers, it's about showing them that you really want to be there.
Yeah, you got to be excited about the opportunity.
Okay. But how do you do that in an interview setting?
Well, it's more than just smiling and nodding.
Okay.
It's about engaging with the interviewer,
Okay.
asking thoughtful questions, showing that you've done your research.
Right.
And really letting your excitement for the challenges and the opportunities of that role shine through.
So instead of just, listing off your accomplishments,
Right.
you want to kind of weave them into a story.
Yes.
That shows your problem-solving skills,
Mm-hmm.
your leadership style,
Exactly.
your commitment to making sure that customers are happy,
It's about telling your story.
and all the things that make you a good fit for this particular role.
Yes. And don't forget to let a little bit of your personality shine through.
Yeah, that's important.
They're hiring a person, not a resume.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance
Yes.
between professionalism
Yeah.
and personality.
Exactly.
You don't want to be too casual,
Right.
but you also don't want to sound like a textbook. So before we wrap up, is there anything else our listeners should think about before they walk into that interview room?
I would say just take a moment to think about what excites you most about this role.
Okay.
What are you really looking forward to?
Yeah.
What kind of impact do you hope to make?
Mm-hmm.
And just channel that energy.
Right.
Let it fuel your answers. You
I
got
think about
this.
that. It's about, tapping into your own motivation
Exactly.
and letting that drive your performance.
You're going to do great.
Well, we're so glad you joined us for this deep dive into the world of electrical household appliance distribution managers.
It's been fun.
You're now armed with the insights, the knowledge, the tools to go out there and ace that interview.
Go get 'em.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep learning. This is The Deep Dive signing off.